This morning, I turned on the stream with no clue how we'd fill our usual 5 days a week goal of doing content here on Splash Play. And now I know the questions have been answered. The gods have heard me as my laptop makes noises next to me. The big board is out, of course. The draft with all the rookies, of course, that are going to get drafted over the course of the NFL. I'm saying the word course too much. All the rookies are going to be drafted over the NFL draft season. We are here. We are doing it. And we are already in a draft room here. The big board, of course, it is going to be $200K to first place, $200K to first place, $100K to second, $65K to third, $10 entry fee. Of course, a $150 max tournament. And the goal here on Splash Play, you are seeing down below on the crawl, best ball draft number 1, the big board. I am going to be doing a draft every weekday of this year. Maybe every weekend day too. I don't know how that's going to go, but for right now, we'll say every weekday. And I'm going to mark them all so we know where they are in the process, where they go. If you wanted to binge watch every single one, you can. That's going to be what we do here on Splash Play all of 2024. So I'm excited to do that here. And it starts with the big board. Of course, the difference between the big board, some other drafts out there. Rookies are already in this one. So guys like Caleb Williams is on the thumbnail. Guys like Audric Estime, who I hyped up in the running back video. He is a guy that'll be in here probably as an undrafted player. So we can have a little bit of an edge here and trying to surmise some things about rookies, where they're going to go. Also, of course, cut candidates, guys like Nick Chubb. The great Sam Sherman over at ETR now wrote up an article talking about the cut candidates. Nick Chubb, a guy coming off an ACL tear, very much needs a contract renegotiation for himself. So we're going to learn more about that as we go, but really more than anything today, excited to be drafting a 2024 team. And of course, we're going to learn a lot about ADPs, how the market's feeling about guys, all of that as we go. So you can see a lot of badges in here. Heard from a lot of people as well who don't even want to start drafting yet. So if you don't want to draft yet, I get it. Take your time off. But look, the work begins. That's just what it is. The grind starts right here. In my first pick, we've seen Christian McCaffrey, Tyreek Hill, Justin Jefferson going. It's a brave new world, folks. CeeDee Lamb, what a steal at a 4 ADP. We are Dallas Cowboys fans. We are CeeDee Lamb fans here. No tight ends in league. I don't know what we're talking about. As a cure for a case of the Mondays, I appreciate that. What a lovely surprise. I agree. Can't believe best ball's already happening. Look, if you're underdog, man, and certainly doesn't hurt them to have a few more people in their pocket in terms of paying them money in January that won't have to get paid out again until next January. And obviously we would assume that that money is in escrow being held safely, but never hurts the bottom line, I think, to get more money in earlier. So I get it. And a great time as well to promote our sponsor, Underdog. Use the promo code SPLASH to double your deposit up to $100 on there. Of course, the preeminent best ball site, the one that is brave enough to put up tournaments in a January, in a February. That is Underdog. DraftKings doesn't do it. As far as I know, Drafters doesn't. So this is where we are going to get our fix for the next few weeks, unless one of them comes through in a major way. We got Jamar Chase at number 5, Breece Hall number 6, Jahmyr Gibbs number 7. A brave new world here indeed. I now have to find reasons to be mean to these running backs going in the first round here. But I think we can also say for our first time of the year, it's a bunch of fucking running back pigs. Just scarf them up. Oh, I need Jahmyr Gibbs. Oh, he might have David Montgomery taking the same touch load again next year, but I need Jahmyr Gibbs the first round. That's where we are already in 2024. I don't know why I shared the window and not the Chrome tab. That's on me. Should I fix that? Let's fix it really fast. Here, look at my face for a moment, and then let's pull up just the Chrome tab here. So get a little more screen for our money here. There we go. Now we're cooking. Now that's a board. Now we're in full best ball streamer mode, getting the windows right. Always a great thing here for all the people who want to watch this stream. MHJ 127 in this draft. Neighbors 45. I love both those guys. And that is a very lofty one. Neighbors, though, man. Got to tell you, I think we're already starting to see it when we talk about the rookie wide receiver videos. And if you are trying to wrap your heads around some of the rookies for the big board, check out the playlist on the Splash Play channel. I did all my rookie previews already. Running backs, wide receivers, QBs, tight ends. I would say that, 2 elite QBs for Ben Shell here. Yeah. Did you enjoy all the 15-point games Patrick Mahomes gave you last year as a third-round pick? Here, have them at the turn for Ben Shell. What dumb shit already. Sorry to Ben if he's in the chat. But yeah, like a lot of these guys, I think, at wide receiver, I love MHJ. I love Neighbors. Romo Dunze, I don't know where he's going, but it better be where Quentin Johnston was going last year for me to really want to take a leap on that one. But it is definitely going to be a thing that we'll have a lot of debate on here. But MHJ, of course, Marvin Harrison Jr., the son of the great Marvin Harrison, of course, said some things off the field that we don't love necessarily, that hard to promote, but still definitely for Marvin Harrison, a guy that all the numbers look good, despite QB play being much worse this year. The drop-off from CJ Stroud to whoever they had a QB, I don't know Ohio State's QBs offhand, was so substantial, but MHJ still looked great. Neighbors, though, like such an elite athlete. I can't wait to see his combine testing, but a guy east-west, so much ability to be shifty, so much ability to break plays and find the edge over and over and over again. Love Neighbors. Odunze is a big catch guy, and some people have already started to shit him on social media. I didn't love him. I thought the numbers were good, but kind of had some questions about the ability here. I said that I would kind of be skeptical until I saw the combine numbers, and if he tested like a freak athlete, you could take a jump upwards. But Odunze, I don't think is the same kind of player as MHJ and as Malik Neighbors. So just something to keep in mind with that as we keep it going here. We got some Niners on the board, some wide receivers, Devon Achane at number 21. So much enthusiasm. Pacheco's at 24. Look, I got to tell you, it's a big board. I don't think my heart has changed too much about how I feel about things. Decent shot. Tyler Lockett could be a cut candidate. So I'm actually going to go DK Metcalf at 21. I feel more comfortable taking him than Debo at this point. Ayuk as well, moving up quite a bit. These new ADPs are going to be hard to adjust to. Shout out to our guy, Gabe Davis. Of course, if you're new around here, if somebody joins the channel here by hitting that join button down below for $4.99 a month, they get welcome to the family. And Gabe Davis, after you showed the Buffalo Bills how much they need you in the playoffs, we need you here too on Splash Play. So thank you for joining the family. Welcome aboard here, and congrats on your successful year by not playing the last two games, proving your worth entirely for the Bills. There we go. Gabe Davis gets the shout out here. Fun fact, Marvin Harrison Jr.'s dad may have killed somebody. Yes, he's a Philly tough, I believe is Marvin Harrison's thing. But you know what? His son seems like a great kid. Great lips as well. I said that when we did the rookie video. So if you're missing the context on that one, boy, just luscious lips on Marvin Harrison. For all the people, though, that are like, I think this actually might be, for the record, I did check YouTube before the stream, had to do a meeting for we do our daily meetings at 2 o'clock. This might be the first stream best ball draft in all of the world of 2024. Unless somebody, if you want to correct me, if somebody else beat me to the punch, let me know. But this is like monumental here. So I don't want to embarrass myself for any new people coming in here to see the literal first best ball draft of 2024. We got Diggs here. Of course, Diggs, the luster is off that row substantially. Trade candidate, maybe. We'll see. Devontae Adams came on strong on the home stretch. Feels a little bit undervalued. Michael Pittman's going at 30. Harrison would certainly be a fun pick as well. I'm going to go Devontae. I think Devontae, Antonio Pierce coming back to be the Raiders coach. I think a good sign. We're back to our extreme 0RB bullshit once again. But CeeDee Lamb, DK Metcalf, Devontae Adams, that's going to be my start. Gabe Davis, the reason he was out, too busy prepping for the big board. Good to know. Gabe was like, my PCL's killing me. And meanwhile, he was looking up the Ben Sinnott highlights that I was looking up here. Rookies. I should talk about rookies real fast. So guys that I would say I would try to leave a lot of drafts with. Marvin Harrison, a great play. He's going at 29 in this room. So I don't think you're getting a lot of value on that one. But Marvin Harrison, the expectation would be him coming in, immediately seizing a role. I actually should pull up all my data in another tab just so I can reference it for myself. Harrison, 35% target per out run rate this year, tops in the class, besides a few guys who are much lower tier prospects. 0.43 EPA per target Marvin Harrison had last year. Great out wide, great in the slot. Marvin Harrison is the best receiver in the class for very good reason, besides the fact that his dad is, of course, a former receiver who may have murdered someone. Malik Neighbors, though, reason that he looks good. 0.65 EPA per target. So really good. They could target a little bit more out of the slot. Of course, slots to be more efficient in the EPA metrics. A little bit shorter than Harrison. Harrison build at 6'4". Malik Neighbors build at 6 foot flat. So the concern could be the size there, but Neighbors is going to be bigger than a Tank Dell. So probably shouldn't worry about that much in the modern NFL. Neighbors, though, eluding tackles at a high rate. 32% avoided tackle rate for Malik Neighbors compared to 9%. And avoided tackle rate doesn't matter a ton for rookies. Quentin Johnson led the class last year with a 38% or something really egregious for Quentin Johnson. He didn't avoid a lot of tackles in the pros. The thing with Neighbors, though, is like he's fast. He's able to get touches out of the backfield, too. People always looking for the next Debo. He's not as big as Debo, but definitely can be a backfield kind of wide receiver like a Debo can. So I think for Neighbors, the avoided tackle rate matters a little bit more here. And I really believe that all the metrics are good. And I guess the ones that it is splash play here. Throws to 20 plus air yards. Marvin Harrison added 1.6 points per target, basically, in terms of the EPA metrics of 1.6 EPA on throws to 20 plus air yards. Malik Neighbors, 1.64. So these guys are monsters downfield. They're positive EPA guys in every part of the field. And Malik Neighbors in particular should probably be like the most fun player in Madden ever because like he can juke. He's great. And Romo Dunze is really big, and his quarterback like to throw the ball downfield a lot. So that's if we're going to compare the 3 top wide receivers. Those are the criteria. Marvin Harrison, generational talent, son of a legend. Malik Neighbors, shiftiest wide receiver we've probably seen coming into the league in a while. And Romo Dunze, really big and is very injured old QB, like to throw the ball downfield a lot. So that's how that went. If you want more basketball content, looks like our guy Bindles is going to be streaming later today. Where is that? I missed the chat. I wanted to give Bindles a nice plug here, and I lost the chat. Busy at work, going to stream. All right, so Bindles will be streaming hopefully later today. Thought you actually had a time in there, but check out some other streamers, of course. I always advocate our guys in chat who are trying to move up the food chain for themselves and do some more stuff. Support those guys if you can. So shout out to our guy Bindles. Anybody else doing some streams? Go ahead. In a draft now that I hear Cousins may go to ATL, I think the expectation is he goes back to Minnesota. But he is technically going to be available, going to be a free agent. So we'll see. Minnesota loves him, though. And he's also like a much bigger culture guy. I think people realize. So I would think he goes back. Sam Laporta, first tight end off the board in the 3rd round. Travis Kelce goes in the 4th round. A new world for sure for all of us. Jalen Waddle, after what he did last year, I don't know that I want to be there. Josh Jacobs, does he come back to Vegas? That's a pretty big question to ask. Same thing for Eckler. Somebody else got Marvin Harrison. I'm taking the fun guy. I'm taking Malik Neighbors. I don't care. I guess the comp people have for Malik Neighbors that, in terms of draft capital that we're giving up this year compared to last year, JSN will be the guy people think of. I would rather have Malik Neighbors, I think, 9 times out of 10. I know obviously it's hard to say. We just had the year of JSN being mostly not great. They did pick up some steam down the back end. I think JSN's a lot more viable this year because you're maybe going to have Tyler Lockett shipped out of town. In this situation, though, for Neighbors, like, he could land somewhere and be in that JSN situation where he's like a wide receiver 3. But if he's a wide receiver 3, they're going to scheme up touches. They're going to give him a shot more. He has to be probably the wide receiver 2 at a minimum to pay off this draft capital. But I think Neighbors is so talented. I'm willing to take that bet and hope that he goes. Like if he's like the Bengals don't have the draft capital to get him. But if he's like a T. Higgins replacement kind of guy, like if he's filling in for a stud wide receiver 2 that leaves in free agency, Neighbors is going to come in really well. And if he ends up being a wide receiver 1 somewhere, he should be the top target right away. So I'm willing to go for Neighbors. Harrison, though, I get why he would be higher, but it's crazy that these are the draft capitals for both of these. You are sick to be drafting a basketball team for next season. I think I caught the sickness as well. So Noah, counting that appropriately. Yes, I would agree. I will say, though, I didn't take out a lot of money from my main season underdog basketball winnings because I knew I was just rolling it forward to the big board as soon as it launched. So look, half content creation, but you guys know, like, I like being early to this stuff. Like, I like getting a read for things earlier than other people do, and I want to know this board inside and out as soon as I can. So tomorrow, tomorrow at 11 a.m., another Splash Play big board stream. Wednesday, same thing. Thursday, same thing. Friday, you may shock you to hear, same thing, because we don't have any other games to talk about right now. So the grind starts here. If you want some best ball content, come on board. All right, so we got some interesting players here. Could build out Seattle a little bit more. Again, I do believe that there's a good shot that Tyler Lockett either takes a contract renegotiation or gets cut entirely if he doesn't. So I'm willing to go to JSN here. Feels lofty. Feels crazy that JSN's going higher than he did last year. Drake London right there. Definitely could benefit from a new coach. We'll see how that goes for him. Pickens, I think more likely to be going the wrong way because if his new coach does seem like Arthur Smith in good position to get that offensive coordinator job for Pittsburgh. But definitely, I don't know, tough range here for sure to close out an extreme 0 RB build or at least the base of it. But I'll take JSN because I do have Metcalf already, and I'm going to make a bet in this particular build that Lockett doesn't come back. Chesson Davis drafting at 3. All right, well, fuck him. Don't go there. I should have even read that out loud. I beat him first. Too bad. They can't have this draft. I got it. Like, kudos to them. Kudos to them getting it together fast. This is how you know, if you guys are ever wondering, like, how much content creators are doing this for the love of the game, the faster you're getting up a big board draft, I tend to believe, the more you love the game. That's what we're here for. Reed and the Green Bay wide receivers are an interesting convo. Yeah, I have to assume. Let's take a quick look at it. And I suppose we should be playing with ADP a little bit more. So where's Christian Watson this year right now? 90 ADP could be worse. We just saw Jayden Reed go a few picks ago, so he is going now pretty close to top 50, top 60. Romeo Dobbs, number 110. Trying to think what the comp would be. Because this stack is not crazily priced, but you're definitely paying a deeper price tag for Green Bay overall. Where's Jordan Love at? Jordan Love at a 91 ADP. We are getting a little bit of a difference this year, is going to be that like the ADPs are seemingly set a little faster than usual, where you wouldn't see things moving around quite as much early. Where I remember Anthony Richardson was in like the number 200s for a lot last year. Let's look at some rookies too. Honestly, I should have done this before, but I wanted to come in fresh. Caleb Williams, a 135 ADP. Drake May, a 181 ADP. Jayden Daniels, 173. I do not want to leave this room without Jayden Daniels. You guys know he's the AR of the year. The AR himself has, I believe, a mid-70s ADP. 74 ADP on AR to start the year. You want to know Wicks? Let's look at Wicks. Wicks 136. So Wicks not even a big discount, really. Where's Musgrave? Musgrave's probably the lowest, right? 147 ADP for Musgrave, and Kraft should be lower than him. 168. So Green Bay's guys are all definitely in drafted range. It's 20 rounds again this year, right? Okay, 20 rounds to the big board as well. I should have pointed that out up top. Where's CJ Stroud at 62? Man, it's like seeing your old friends like, oh, let's see how you've glowed up or the opposite of glowing up. And CJ Stroud at 62, man, that is it's an aggressive one for him, but I like it. I do like it. Trevor Lawrence down to 113. Oh boy. Romo Dunze goes off the board at 67. I'd bump that price down. I'd bump that price down personally. All right. So we got, all right, Dak is now an elite QB. Oh, man. I mean, we got CeeDee Lamb. We know these two guys are going to be there for the big board as well, because we don't know how free agency is going to go. I think there is a little bit of a premium to be paid on stacks that will be there come season start. Dak to CeeDee Lamb is going to be there, barring something catastrophic happening this offseason. So Dak is a very nice pick 69 for me here, even though, good God, that came up a lot. But Dak was good last year, so I think it should have. Where's Fields? Fields just went at 61, but his ADP was at 58. So he came down. What's your boy's Estime ADP? Estime is undrafted. Estime is free. 206 ADP. I guess in the big board, he's getting drafted, but he is a little bit low. Hold on, well, let me pull up all of these. I'm going to open my running back data on this screen over here that you guys can't see. College data. Oh, why is this not? Okay. I'm so dumb. Some of the URLs are saved in my sheet, and some of them are in my browser, and some of them are not. So let me just get all of them in here and QB college data. Yeah, so the running backs that we like, Audric Estime, Bucky Irving are the big two here. Jonathan Brooks has the ACL injury, so I would not feel the most comfortable drafting him right now. Bucky Irving, a 160 ADP for Bucky. They think he's 46 better than Estime. I don't agree with that. Blake Corum, a 144 ADP for Blake Corum. Estime is a steal. He's a steal. He will not be undrafted by Spags. If Blake Corum is going 144 and Bucky's going 160, Estime should be at a worst like 170. That's an incorrect price to start. That's the first incorrect price that I feel really strongly about here. All right. Can Raheem Mostert do it again? Feels like we're asking a very tough needle to thread with that one. Najee Harris down to 76 ADP. Is he going to lose his workload finally? Did look better this year. Fuck, guys. I don't want to scare you all off right away. I think it's a Najee draft. I think Najee has some whiffs of like James Conner last year, where this is probably too low for a guy who's going to likely be on the roster, perhaps in a more running back heavy draft or running back heavy team. So, oh God, none of those running backs. Sorry, I'm a Najee Harris guy. I don't know if you missed that one. Good call, not reach on Mostert. Yeah, good call. Good call on that. Brock, I wasn't going to look up Brock yet because I don't want somebody to take Brock, but I would like to get Brock for myself. Brock's ADP, 108, so he's coming up soon. basically going a little bit higher than where Kincaid was to start last year. Or it was actually where Kincaid ended up last year. Because Kincaid to start was like 170s. So yeah, definitely Brock Bowers not sneaking up on anybody. Gotta imagine my other guy, Sinnott, is not going at all. Yeah, Ben Sinnott going undrafted. He does have a news item for himself. He has a little note guy here. I don't know what the note is because it's not showing me anything. But the two tight ends that I like, Brock Bowers, who everybody likes, and Ben Sinnott is the guy that I think is very fun. Watch his highlight reel. Google Ben Sinnott highlight reel, and you, like me, can be one of the first 5,000 people to watch that because at Kansas State, that guy was something electric. I don't know if he could do it in the pros, but he was something electric. BBM 5, I'm thinking a $20 million prize pool. Thoughts? I don't know what they're going to do. I believe they should roll weekly winners into BBM and make a bigger prize pool and do it that way. You got to think they would like to push towards the $4 million prize, if not $5 million. So those are things I would expect. But I think if anything, though, it's probably going to be a lot like DFS sites where I would imagine bigger first place prize pool and then less prizes going to second, third through 10th. Which is the downside of like when you are playing for those gigantic prizes up top, is that a lot of times, like that's how DraftKings keeps 100K tournaments every day, is that you'll see like second place is like fucking 10K some days. So I think that's where I would expect it to go, but who knows how aggressive they're being if they are putting out a big board this early. All the rookies have a blank note. It's good to know. Gabe Davis already paying dividends here. Gabe got that injury time and now he's adding value. We also, by the way, have our first batshit drafter here. Ben Shell took Josh Allen, Patrick Mahomes, CJ Stroud, Brock Purdy. He does have at least a stack with Josh Allen, but his first wide receiver off the board is Tyler Lockett, who I'm betting against. So, of course, that means that Ben Shell will advance out of this room, and I will be regretting it all year long. You think DK's main best ball tournament was the same as last year? I know that they were sending me surveys asking about how to improve things. You guys might have gotten that too. So I think they are trying to do something different with best ball, but to what extent, I don't know. DraftKings is a pretty lazy company and clearly more focused on the betting products. So they may do more for best ball just because I think they are aggressively headhunting Underdog, but I don't know. I don't think they're going to have anything like a big board for sure. That much I can say. I could buy a new car, but my balls hurt something fierce. Second place flagship GPP. Yeah, that is definitely how a lot of these prize pools work, especially if you're playing like I was trying to get into Night Slate NBA. I might have mentioned that on stream. I did mention on stream a couple weeks ago. And like the prize pools are just like so fucking not great that it spooked me off like for the big tournaments where it's like I'm not 150 maxing those. I'm just trying to put in like 10 to 20 clean entries a night. And it's like, boy, if you don't finish like number one, you're fucking getting like $5,000 back. It's just not worth the effort. So it is tough for some of those DFS tournaments. All right. So we have a bet on Najee Harris. We have some Dallas stuff. Ferguson is still here. Feels like maybe a risk that somebody could come in and usurp his role. And I really don't believe that I should take Jake Ferguson over Brock Bowers here. I'm going to go. DeAndre Swift kind of sucks too. God, I guess I'm just going to take Ferguson for the correlation, but I feel like Jake Ferguson, a very fragile 93 ADP on Jake Ferguson, I think. I was not prepared to pay that price tag for Jake Ferguson. I did not enjoy that, but we got Dak, we got CeeDee Lamb. God damn it. Biggest thing for me is trying new strategies for next season. Luck is such a big part of the pod luck that weird teams can make it through. Yeah, I mean, look, I think the main thing for me is trying to be a little bit more balanced. I do, as I mentioned before, my goals are to cap exposure a little bit more, to not get fully in love with guys I have for portions of last year. But I think, you still have to try to take some stands, still have to try to take some guys you like. And yeah. Easy on Fergie, wide receiver 2 currently on their team. That's true. Look, Ferguson had more spike weeks this year than Brandon Cooks did, so I don't think it's inherently a bad play. I just think he's a low draft capital tight end who ended up being a better version of Dalton Schultz, but how? I don't know. CJ Hawkinson, of course, the knee injury. That is why he is going so low here at 96. Obviously, a little bit of a risk there, though Dark ends up taking Trey McBride as well, so it makes sense how he got there. Anthony Richardson goes at 72 to Dark as well. Cortland Sutton goes exactly where he did last year. Even though Cortland Sutton's situation could improve, I guess, like better QB play is certainly on the menu. Cortland Sutton was heavily used in the red zone and the end zone last year. So I don't know. Jerry Jeudy could get traded, was almost traded to portions of last year, it kind of looked like. Jacksonville for a Green Bay comparison. It's close. Yeah. think, yeah, I guess it is Jacksonville because they didn't have there isn't like a stud wide receiver who's going incredibly early. You're getting kind of the cheaper version with Jayden Reed compared to Calvin Ridley last year. So I guess Jacksonville would be the comp. Keon Coleman is going this high? I don't agree with that. Mike Williams, potential cut candidate as well for the Chargers, coming off the knee injury as well. Man, what do we do here? What do we do? Jaylen Warren didn't kill us this year, but a new coach, definitely a fragile situation for Warren where a new coach coming in could want to use him more. A new coach could also lean on Najee. I'm going to get both here. I think this is one thing I actually am going to adapt from my plans of last year is that in certain backfields, and again, if this is literally going to be an Arthur Smith situation, I think that you could draft Najee Harris and Jaylen Warren. Should I have drafted both at this draft capital? I don't know, but I'm trying to get a feel for things. And I think no matter what the outcome is, Pittsburgh is going to run the ball pretty aggressively. If you're interviewing Arthur Smith, I think you know what you want to do going in. So that's why I'm going to take these two running backs. But it's also for me, I'm going to break the seal here and do some shit I didn't do last year. Najee, I mean, we saw Jaylen Warren and Najee both have useful weeks, so I'm okay taking the both of them here. McBride is a value being drafted ahead of Pitts. Or by Pitts. Yeah. Yeah, look, I think both guys have their merits. Pitts, finally a new offense, I think is going to be a positive for him. McBride obviously did a good job showing what he can do, where I think no matter what happens for that team next year, it's going to look good for him. The risk for McBride is like if you do have a MHJ going to Arizona, which is going to be the biggest rumored move that'll happen for that first round, I think that does hurt a McBride, where like the target ceiling is going to be so much lower for him because of the fact that an MHJ is on the field. And like McBride was basically getting fed for portions of the year because we didn't have Marquise Brown out there, and he's not even a big targeter anyway. So McBride was getting fed a little bit while Brown was out there. Then Brown got hurt. But like, who are you going to throw the ball to? McBride or Michael Wilson or Dortch or they didn't have anybody out there to throw it to besides McBride. So I think it's the one thing I would say. Like the spike week's still there for McBride, but I don't know. I'm glad he's going where he is because if McBride were going like up here, that'd be crazy. Jonathan Brooks getting drafted at 78, by the way. I didn't see that one while it happened. If he's going to be out until like October or November with an ACL injury, I don't think you should be drafting Jonathan Brooks at all right now. So I would say that's one right away. I think that jumps out to me as not a great pick. Especially too, like Bucky Irving and Jonathan Brooks are not that different of a pedigree. I think Brooks is a little bit bigger. Let me see. I got to look into Brooks' knee injury more because I did just take somebody in chat at face value about his ACL. I'm trying to look up news items as we go here, but unless somebody misled me about Brooks, I don't think that he's going to be good to go by the start of the year. Yeah, he hurt his ACL November 12th. So he would have to rush back to have a shot to start the year. I'm going to be really leery of guys. Like, even if Jonathan Brooks were like ahead of his recovery and all that, and it all looked really good, I don't want to be in a Kendre Miller situation again. Like Kendre Miller, it was really hard to dig out of him not having the preseason to be healthy and go out there. And then when, then we got into the year and it's like he actually had opportunities when Kamara was suspended and then Jamal Williams ended up getting hurt really fast. And it's like Kendre never got there because of the fact that like he wasn't able to get there in the preseason. And I think that's something to really watch out for. So no matter what, even if Brooks were able to get fully healthy fast and be able to get out there, in September, in October, I don't think that's a good pick. I don't think that's a good pick at 78. That's frothy for a rookie running back. No, thank you. Don't mind the idea of getting both Najee and Jaylen, breaking the seal. Yeah. I think that's it. I think you just I want to get a little bit less comfortable in my drafting style for the year. I'm still going to try to do the things that I think I do well, which is prioritizing wide receiver, is knowing some of these guys. Adonai Mitchell. Why is Adonai Mitchell this high? I think this is like ADPs are kind of forcing some wide receivers here where Keon Coleman, I don't think gets drafted that highly. Maybe he's because he's a little bit younger. He's got a shot, but like Adonai Mitchell, Trey Franklin should go way ahead of him. Whatever. All right. I'm not going to worry about it. I can get bogged down by this a little bit too easily. Roshan Johnson, Devin Singletary. Did feel like Singletary really earned that role for Houston last year. Kind of feels like a 0 RB back as well. So I'm going to go Devin Singletary. Obviously, guy did great for me last year after he finally earned the role. How he does this year, who knows? But Doesn't feel like Dameon Pierce is going to be a threat for him. And I would say for Devin Singletary as well, one thing to note for all the guys that are available running back this year in zero RB kind of builds, trying to prioritize guys that are going to be coming into a new coaching situation is one to do as well, where that's something that people never account for is like the ambiguous backfields of a new coach coming in. As you guys know, people at points in last summer were like, oh, you didn't draft Dameon Pierce in the Spags Stacks Texans video, you idiot. Dameon Pierce is the best Texan. And then what happens? I took Devin Singletary in that draft. Devin Singletary earns the role because the new coaching staff did not trust Dameon Pierce. And then what he did on the field did not give him a chance to earn that role. So that's really something to keep in mind here. Any of the teams with the coaching vacancy, the situation can move. And that's it for Pittsburgh. Like, what the fuck's Pittsburgh going to do? Pittsburgh's going to run that fucking ball. Wonder if J.K. Dobbs is going to hang up the cleats. I don't think so. I think he wants to get big paid. He wanted the contract before the year, and then they didn't give it to him, which, sucks for him, obviously. See, I'm duped already for AR, Hawkinson, McBride, boo. Look, chalk builds. That's another lesson from last year where you're getting the Dolphins for free early on last year. Obviously, that didn't end up paying off necessarily down the home stretch. But you're getting the Dolphins full stack for really cheap last year, and people weren't taking it because they were like, including me, like, everybody's got that stack now. So that's definitely one to keep in mind that, like, don't pass up things that you fear chalky stacks early on because they're probably not as chalky as you think. Okay. Here's Troy Franklin at 130. Oh, boy. I don't mind that, but I think I have enough at wide receiver right now and definitely need some more running backs here. Roshan. Can Roshan take the leap this year? Khalil Herbert, I believe, is a free agent. And if not, don't know that he's necessarily locked into a role. I am going to take, and this, this role too for Chicago could get a lot better. I'm going to take Roshan. Like, if they take Caleb Williams, as now the current expectation is going to be, I guess, is that they're more likely to take Caleb Williams than not. The pass game is going to get better. So I think Roshan's a good pick here. Josh also with a good pick of Jerome Ford. Again, there's a shot that Nick Chubb doesn't come back to the Browns. I would think they renegotiate the contract to be more likely, but there is a shot that we see him not go back. So that's it. Who am I liking out of the Chicago back? It's Roshan. It's got to be Roshan for me. I was big on Roshan this year. I think he showed enough. Again, another guy that got kind of unlucky with the rollout where he had the one good game that got concussed, and then he would have had an opportunity to get some reps, but then he was hurt, and then Foreman came back in and got himself back in the mix. Roshan, I think there's a shot that Herbert doesn't come back, and there's a shot that Roshan ends up being the lead back. So if that's the case, I like him a lot. But even if he's not, I would take the flyer again on him in the hopes that they don't bring Foreman back and we just get Herbert and Roshan as a worst case scenario. We will see. Need Brian Thomas to complete my LSU wide receiver stack. Let's see where Brian Thomas is going. Brian Thomas went at 77. I missed that one. These are really frothy wide receiver. Like, Brian Thomas being at 77, I can live with. I know that people like him. I kind of think that he was better because of having neighbors out there across from him. I don't think that Adonai Mitchell and Keon Coleman should be this high. I think they should be closer to where Mingo was going last year. Not that I think those guys are Mingo. I think they're both a little bit more appealing than Mingo was to me last year. But the Keon Coleman, 0.003 EPA, he's basically an average player overall at his position. He's 6'4", 215. Keon Coleman, looking at the numbers, little Kelvin Benjamin-y, if we want to compare to another FSU guy that did not do well. I don't know. Since we're on the topic of running backs, what do you think of Spears? I think greatly undervalued. I don't know what his ADP is, and I don't know if he went already. But he went at 92. He could be a lead back for Tennessee. Like, there's a lot of things tying Dallas potentially to Derrick Henry. So if Derrick Henry were to go to Dallas, I don't know that's a thing they actually would do in practice. That's something that then would immediately open up the role for him. So yeah, Blake Corum at 132 is too. He's not going to go high enough to justify that ADP. I'm a little blown away by some of these ADPs, to be honest. Like, and I think Underdog massaged them on the back end a little bit because I know that Keon Coleman. I know Hayden likes him. I've seen him tweet about Keon Coleman being a guy that he holds in esteem. I think that's fucking people up here a little bit. Like, Blake Corum shouldn't go 132. I think Blake Corum's a good back. I liked him last year. Thought he should have come out last year. He's too small. Like, he's Deuce Vaughn size, much better than Deuce Vaughn, but like he's not big enough to justify coming up that much. Hayden massaged them. I'm sure he did. I mean, kudos to them, I guess, trying to get it closer to where it should be. But I think we're now, because I think this is like an issue for a big board draft. People are going to follow the ADPs pretty closely for the most part. Like some guys they like because they watched them in college, they're going to go and reach for and go and get them. But I think in general, I wanted Troy Franklin to come back. That's a great pick. Troy Franklin is your actual wide receiver 4 in the class. Let's say maybe wide receiver 3 of Rome Odunze's combine testing is shit. Troy Franklin should go ahead of Keon Coleman and ahead of Adonai Mitchell in every draft, in every single draft. That is just completely fucking wrong to have him 30 picks later. I will defend this one vigorously. Troy Franklin, like I dug in a little bit more. His initial highlights, I was like, all right, whatever. Watched a full game of him and one of his bigger games. Forget which one it was. But for Troy Franklin, analytically very sound. Troy Franklin, a .703 EPA per target, best in the league. He also didn't do it out of the slot, was getting all out wide targets with the .61 EPA out wide. Downfield is also a killer as well. 0.9 EPA on 10 to 20 air yards, 1.2 EPA on deep throws. So he's right there with Harrison and Neighbors and better than Odunze, like twice the player in terms of EPA metrics than Odunze was downfield. Troy Franklin is a much better player than Keon Coleman and Adonai Mitchell, and don't let people deceive you otherwise, because that is apparently a thing that we have to deal with. Jalen Polk I don't think should be here either. I am a little bit perplexed by some of these things. Don't really like a lot of the picks in this range. Zach Moss is a free agent, could land somewhere good. No. No. We're time for timeout. Ah, god damn it. We're not in mid-season form of avoiding a timeout. Don't look at my cue. Don't look at my cue. I just love Elijah Moore so much. I just love Elijah Moore. I don't want somebody to take my precious from me. I can't buy a jersey yet because we don't know what NFL team he's going to be on, but we have a new AR. We know who it is. You guys, if you watch Splash Play, you know who the new AR is. If you just watch the screen, you know who it is. So let's not let one of these assholes ruin it for me. Yeah, you take Marvin Mims. He's going to take a leap. Fuck you, man. Come on, it's fucking not even February and I'm telling you can't take Jayden Daniels from me. God damn it. God damn it. Oh, it's upsetting. It's very upsetting. I don't want it. It's not even a bit. I can't believe I just got fucking sniped on a player who is ADP is 30 picks later. Is Dark watching the stream? Dark, if you're watching the stream, can you please identify yourself in chat? Because that felt like the move of somebody who's watching me about to take Jayden Daniels and then takes Jayden Daniels. I am not happy about that one. I'm going to go up and get Drake May then instead, because Drake May should be in the 150s. He's going to get drafted highly. I do think we got here effects saying hopefully the new guy, Jayden Daniels, is with the Patriots. I think if the Commanders are a smart team, they are going to take Jayden Daniels over Drake May. Drake May is a little bit younger, but Jayden Daniels does everything that people will like about Drake May and does it a lot better. So that's why I'm particularly tilted about not getting Jayden Daniels here. But the Commanders may be the Commanders anyway and still take Drake May, and that would be fine if so. First tilt 2024, congrats. Yes, that's very upsetting. That's what that is. But you can't leave these rooms to all the guys you want. I do understand that. Just wish that it worked out. The important thing is I do have a stack as my base. I do have Dallas correlated as my base. I've got some Pittsburgh running backs. We've got Roshan, my boy, once again. Feeling good about that. Steven here just got right in time. Yes, you got to see me be angry, getting sniped on a player. God damn it, Dark. God damn it. Dark didn't out himself in chat, but I feel like that really feels like the move of somebody that knew that I wanted to take him. That's all I could say. Might as well chalk this $10 to your next dime bag. Oh, thanks. I think the team is dead. We got Drake May. We got hope. Though we don't really have any logical targets with Drake May. Where's Dotson going this year? Dotson's still going at 106, so people have not given up on Dotson yet. Better reach for Estime next round. I can't do that. That's not the right price tag for Estime. But yes, he should be going higher than some of these guys. I would like to get one of the rookies here because I think we now have enough guys who should have a role to start the year. So we are in the hunt for a Bucky for an Estime coming up. Any team with Dak is a winner. Look, Dak was a great pick this year. I'm not going to be mad at it. Wouldn't be a best ball draft without at least one snipe. Look, it is the first best ball draft of 2024. Again, legally, the first official 2024 best ball draft that anybody has done in the entire world live on stream. So yes, I suppose I needed to live up to the expectations and get mad at Dark for taking Jayden Daniels. Anyway, to cape for one more guy here. Jayden Daniels, we did the wide receiver thing. Troy Franklin should be going ahead of Keon Coleman, should be going against Adonai Mitchell. I think that's fundamentally one of the worst ADPs aligned here to start the big board. Jayden Daniels, though, should be going ahead. Shouldn't go ahead of Caleb because I get it with Caleb. But like in terms of a fantasy play, Jayden Daniels is the AR to Caleb Williams, CJ Stroud is the best way to look at it. So what do we want in fantasy? We want guys who are going to run, who are going to get the ball downfield. Jayden Daniels is Anthony Richardson plus CJ Stroud in one body. So he is the best fantasy play. Is he going to be a better pro prospect than Caleb Williams? I don't know. I kind of think he will be, but Caleb Williams has enough of the Mahomes stuff in him that I think he could certainly get to that level. Geno here, shot that Geno doesn't come back to Seattle. That's part of why I didn't prioritize him. Anyway, yeah, Daniels over Caleb and Best Ball Bindle says that's the correct take. I get why the ADPs are where they are, but Jayden Daniels is going to be good from day one, and I think Caleb is going to be good too as well. They're different players, but it's just like Jayden's a great pick. Jayden is a great pick. Oh, the 11th slot, did he take more QBs? Oh, yeah, the 11th slot is also taking Daniel Jones, Kirk Cousins, Jared Goff, Tua Tagovailoa, Brock Purdy, CJ Stroud, Patrick Mahomes, Josh Allen. Great job by Ben. Love the first draft here, really giving us all the things we want out of our best ball drafts. That much you can say. All right, we got a 2-4-6-1 here. Could go either direction. Obviously, we accidentally took Elijah Moore, which is not great. Tyler Boyd, a free agent, maybe could upgrade in spot because of just a lack of bodies there. Zach Moss kind of feels like he's going the wrong way. Tyler Algier has a role. Let's take a guy on the upswing and Michael Wilson. I would have liked to take a running back here, but frankly, that pocket of running backs is not doing it for me. Ugh. If you think Geno won't be back in Seattle, they go lock. I think it depends on who they're hiring a coach. Like it's more likely they would bring in, I don't know. There's a lot of free agents too. Like Baker Mayfield is still a free agent. He and Tampa Bay do want to work it out, but like he's a guy that I could see a team wanting to kick the tires on a little bit. I don't know. 9 QBs is the new meta, and you could probably get Jayden Daniels next time. Yes, I suppose in a room where somebody doesn't take 9 QBs, we might have been able to get Jayden Daniels, but unfortunately that was not going to be this first room here. Is ADP simmed or just using the shit out of sample size? I believe that it was a thing that they did editorially on the back end that they are now going to let the markets decide. Based on how I'm seeing the ADPs already with only 500 teams drafted, unless they're updating in pure real time, which I don't think is the case. I think that's what they did is they probably had like Hayden or collectively as a team, like went through and said, okay, here's these guys should start at ADP. And then they let the ADPs go from there. But last year they wouldn't update ADPs until the next day. So they either changed their processes or we are going entirely off of like what the underdog guys behind the scenes thought should be the ADPs. They draft Bo Nix. Bo Nix, I like going to New Orleans, is the one that I've seen a decent amount. And they paid Derek Carr all that big money, so definitely a risk profile with that one that Carr could just start out of inertia. But if Bo Nix went to a New Orleans-style offense that is a little more timing-based, a little more short throw-based, that opens up big plays, Bo Nix would be a star. Bo Nix is also the QB that, like, he should be one of your bailout QBs to take late because he's, like, every mock has him going in the first round, and honestly higher in the first round than you would think. Okay, we need some running backs here. Does Gus Edwards just keep doing this shit for another year? Maybe. Did Bucky already go? Somebody fucking snuck Bucky past me. God damn it. All right, you know what? I'm just going to go up and get my guy. I think he should be ahead of Braylon Allen. I'm taking Audric Estime. Braylon Allen is coming up here at the 177 spot. A couple guys here, by the way, that I just would not draft this year. Alexander Madison, I don't think is a good play unless he lands somewhere completely different. I don't know where that would be. Braylon Allen is going to be more interesting than A.J. Dillon, who A.J. Dillon might not have a job next year after how he played this year, where obviously got hurt down the home stretch, but like probably the slowest running back in football, probably the most plodding running back in football. No A.J. Dillon. Where's JJ's best fit? Oh, JJ McCarthy. He's another guy too. He should actually, He's got to be a first rounder. He was a guy that I really liked a lot, actually, in terms of the EPA metrics. He was a, let's see, 0.36 EPA per drop back guy, 0.25 EPA under 10 air yards, 0.88 EPA 10 to 20. Not great downfield, so he kind of needs to go to a timing offense. Where would be his best fit? I mean, honestly, a Carolina, they're not going to do this, but like a Carolina with Dave Canales would be a fun fit for him because it would use his ability to use short throws to set up the deep throws, which is kind of what they retrained Baker Mayfield to do this year. So I think that would be a good one for him. But obviously, that's not going to be the case because they have Bryce Young, and Canales is going to be there to save Bryce Young. I like him for a New England more. I think that like a McCarthy, like if we're talking about the vintage New England offense, McCarthy's a better version of Mac Jones who like can keep the train running on time and keep it functional and be like an effective passer within a system. So I think McCarthy go into that kind of offense. You want him to be on a team that has a really good structure around him. And I think that's going to be his best outcome. If you put him somewhere like Jayden Daniels to me could go to any team. And as long as you're going to say, hey, Jayden Daniels, throw the ball deep 6 times a game and run 10 times a game, Jayden Daniels is going to have success. McCarthy has to go somewhere, and Russell Wilson goes to this guy who just keeps taking QBs. So like I think McCarthy has a more specific fit. He needs to be like a Trevor Lawrence where you land in a system that works. If you land with Urban Meyer, you're fucked. If you land with Doug Peterson, you're okay. And I think that's his best possible outcome. New England Talkers have been looking heavy at Rams assistants. Okay. I mean, we know Raheem Morris is going to Atlanta, so would expect that to be a team that they have to do something on the offensive side of the ball that could be interesting. I think there's also rumors that Raheem Morris could take one of the OCs or one of the offensive coaches from the Rams as well with him, which would make Atlanta a more fun team theoretically, but I don't know how that's going to go. Shout out Kyle here. Hello, Spags, you handsome young man. Thank you for saying all the lies that I need to hear, Kyle, but I appreciate it. Again, hope you guys are enjoying the stream. We're going to do just one draft today, but strap in here because it is now a week of big board drafts here on Splash at 11 a.m. So we will continue to hit those. If you are new around here and just looking for more best ball content in your life, as you hopefully can tell, I've done the prep work as best I can. I'll continue to do it. Of course, Splash Play, a year-round fantasy football channel. So please do subscribe down below. Please hit that like button. Join us here on Splash Play. And of course, use that promo code SPLASH on Underdog. Get yourself up to a $100 deposit match if for some reason you are not an underdog. And here's some other promos. Stochastic, promo code SPLASH, save 15%. And probably my betting app. Use the promo code SPLASH on there as well to save 50%. Back to Underdog sticker. What a pro. Kenny Pickett going at 185. The bloom is off that rose. Obviously, the rumors of Arthur Smith going there are not going to give you more love for Kenny Pickett. But Kenny Pickett, man, maybe not coming back to a starting job. All right, we're on the clock here. Michael Gallup still available. Don't think we need to do that. Miles Sanders looking dunzo, but he could land in another spot for sure and be a touchdown hound. Gainwell, can Gainwell actually get some work and be useful? We need tight ends too. Good God. You really need to wrap your head around a new ADPs. That is the hardest part of this. Let's go with Kenneth Gainwell here and hope that, I don't know, DeAndre Swift is part of the change. We are going to have a coaching change here. Kellen Moore, that's one thing we haven't talked about on stream. Kellen Moore, Vic Fangio, the new offensive coordinators for Philly. So the hope would be that a Kellen Moore can use Gainwell, but I think that is another fragile running back spot because of Kellen Moore coming in. Probably not fragile enough to draft Rashad Penny again. The Rashad Penny is going to be a free agent anyway. And of course, I'm sure he'll land somewhere and fucking be the bee's knees next year. But Kenneth Gainwell does benefit theoretically from having Kellen Moore coming in because new offensive coordinators, new offensive coaches, or new coaches overall give you a better shot for the backup running back to leap the starting running back. And Swift, whatever it was, kind of the usage went down on the home stretch. Try to use the Splash promo code on my Sunway app, no go. I don't even know what Sunway is. Is that a gas station? I have to assume. What veteran quarterbacks are you bullish on for the coming year? Don't do much drafting, but do look to invest in some football cards. Veteran QBs take a leap. I mean, veteran, we're saying just like not a rookie, right? I mean, who was good last year that could have a resurgence and who's young enough? Daniel Jones could still have a shot. There's also the risk that like the Giants decide they don't want to pay that contract and try to do something to get out of that. But I think Daniel Jones would still be a guy that has a chance to be more useful if that offense starts to make a little bit more sense. All right. I'll keep thinking about that while we make one more pick here. Can Justice Hill get the Baltimore backfield next year? Maybe. We could also just keep doing the Seattle stack without the Seattle QB. Noah Fant, a guy that could be a good breakout in the second contract guy at tight end. A lot of people I know who are sharp about dynasty stuff have talked about Noah Fant maybe being on an Evan Ingram kind of trajectory for his career. I don't know that I want to fully buy that, but we need a second tight end. And I don't think that Donald Parham is going to do it for me necessarily. I'm going to take Noah Fant here to go with our Seattle bet. This is also, by the way, another thing that I do want to do more of this year. We got 2 Seattle receivers here. We got DK Metcalf, JSN. We got Noah Fant. We do not have a Seattle QB, though I guess it is possible if they are down on Geno Smith that they could like get a Drake May somehow in a classic draft day movie scenario. But with Noah Fant, though, like I have the Seattle stack now, but not the QB. And I think that's something I want to be obviously going to be fucked up for me because I'm going to be sniping people's stacks a little bit more on stream. But I do think you want to maybe get more correlated team bets without the QB sometimes, especially if that QB is one where you don't think there's the biggest upside. And for Geno, I don't think he broke 20 DK points more than twice this year. So I think even if Geno were to be a starter, like it's possible that we could have that stack hit without him being there. All right, Bendels is saying Noah Fant. I'm glad if Bendels is on the same page. People have been kind of talking about Fant for a while. That's true, but he's still young enough. Noah Fant, I think he's got to be like 25, 26. Yeah, 26 years old is Noah Fant. So young enough, and that is around the time where some tight ends, if they don't have that early breakout, sometimes you start to come to fruition a little bit more. Rico Dowdle, kind of a fun pick here because Tony Pollard maybe not coming back next year. Does seem like those teams rather might be a better team out there for Tony Pollard. And this year did not maybe endear him to Dallas's hearts. So where was Tony Pollard's ADP? I missed that. Tony Pollard at a 70 ADP. Okay, that's reasonable. Jaheim Bell still available? I would think so. I think the lesser rookie tight ends are not getting drafted again. Yeah, Jaheim Bell hasn't been drafted yet. Sinnott, not drafted yet. Bell and Sinnott, kind of similar players. I do think Sinnott looked a little bit better in the advanced analytics, but I don't know about the athletic profile for him. That's going to be a big question. If Sinnott tests well at the combine, you're going to hear me talk about Ben Sinnott a lot. For Bell, though, like Bell is more of a natural athlete, and he also looks fast because he had a single-digit jersey at FSU. So, but kind of similar players in that they're tight ends, but a little bit running backy, a little bit of like a Debo tight end is what both Ben Sinnott and Bell are, Jaheim Bell. So, 2 names to know at tight end. Marcus Robinson gets drafted. I feel like it's a very fragile projection for him as a wide receiver 3 in that Rams offense. Where did Puka go? Puka went first round. Man. Really going to take a while here. I'm glad that we're going to do drafts every day here this week because like it's going to take a minute for the new ADPs to kind of lock into my brain because this is really crazy. Took Marvin Harris at the 2-3 turn. God, I hope it doesn't get JSN. He wouldn't because he's an outside receiver, but also like the worst case for him is coming in and being a wide receiver 2. Like, and that's going to be like, he's a wide receiver 2 on an offense that's like, we got to blow people off the field. He would be like a Jalen Waddle wide receiver 2 as a worst case scenario, which granted did not go that well this year, Jalen Waddle as the wide receiver 2. But that's like the worst case scenario for MHJ. He wouldn't end up in a JSN spot where they're like keeping him off the field. You can't keep Harrison off the field, especially with the draft capital you're going to pay for him. Bell was pretty fast, 4.5 40. Okay. I got to see it. You got to see it in the combine. I don't want to trust the informed ones, but good to know for Bell. Again, Sinnott is the one I'm worried about the athletic profile for. For Bell, I think he's okay. I think for Bell to be like what I think you guys want him to be and what FSU fans think he is, he needs to like test really well athletically. But he was like really small sample size stuff where he only had, 16 routes per game last year, which is about 33% less than guys like Sinnott, guys like Brock Bowers who were on the field a little bit more. But yeah, Doug, I hope you guys are ready though, because like Sinnott is the one that like I hadn't heard anybody talk about Sinnott at all, and he is a tight end. Just fucking Google the highlight reel, please. That's actually one thing I was thinking about doing this week was like just watching video here on the channel and taking the demonetization here on YouTube. And now we're not going to do that, but like he is Sinnott is fucking what people want Bell to be. Sinnott is, I think. All right, Tyler coming in here. All the luminaries coming back out because best ball is back on the menu. And thank you again to Underdog here. Use that promo code SPLASH to thank Underdog because I thought we'd have to just cobble together a few weeks of just shows that I didn't feel like were worth, like I want to make every stream have some value, have some upside. And you only talk about the Super Bowl so much. So we got to get some good things in, and now we will. Will Shipley, the great white running back, hope. Not a guy I'm dying to take. Much rather have Estime. I think now we're kind of in get your guys territory. I mean, we need more wide receivers because I don't think Jake Ferguson and Noah Fant are going to carry me this far. I'm getting my dude. Actually, you know what? I'm going to get Bell first. We're going to get a 4 tight end build here. We're taking Jaheim Bell. And then we're going to get Sinnott too. And we're going to feel really good about ourselves. We feel real sexy and spry. Probably should take one more running back. Can Tank Bigsby be less awful this year? Possible. It's possible. For guys like Tank Bigsby, I will say, didn't grade out well his rookie year. Kyron Williams, if you're going to take rookies that sucked year 1 and hope they get better year 2, you better hope that they have a way to get to be the bell cow back. So Roshan was pretty good in his rookie year, and I'm in the bag for him again. He's got a pathway to be, a top back for Chicago. I think for any of these guys like Tank Bigsby, you have to basically be making a bet that ATN's not going to be the back for them this year. Drafted the shit out of the free rookie BBs. Hope it doesn't suck ass. Look, if I were to really say, if you want to leave every draft with a couple rookies right now, Troy Franklin, Jayden Daniels, Audric Estime, maybe Ben Sinnott. But those are the 3 that I would say for sure is going to be Troy Franklin, Audric Estime, Jayden Daniels. Those are the darts that I would try to throw in every big board draft that I think gets steamed up a lot with how they're going to go over the course of the summer. Besides that, though, I don't know. J.K. Dobbins at 217 is too cheap, especially because somebody took Jonathan Brooks, who also has an ACL injury at 73. J.K. Dobbins is a free agent. He could somehow land in a better spot. He could be the Josh Jacobs replacement in Vegas. He could be the Tony Pollard replacement in Dallas as a cheap pick. There's some risk, I guess, that he could be Rashad Penny, but J.K. Dobbins is not pick 217. That's silly. Got sniped on Jayden. Welcome to the club, Tyler. You missed the first stream snipe here of me getting sniped by Dark. Marshawn Lloyd, kind of a fun one, a little bit too small, very shifty from USC. Samaje Perine, the role's probably dead. Frank Gore Jr., just a name. Any running back at all worth taking because I don't think Sinnott's going to get sniped for me unless Dark takes him too. Oh, we want somebody who can win a role here. There's just fucking nothing. God, this is an ugly part of the draft. I'm going to take Marshawn Lloyd. I just don't think Shipley's that good. Ray Davis is old. Ray Davis is 24. And Ray Davis did not grade out that well to me. But look, Ray Davis, you can plant a flag for. I like Lloyd more because he's got a lot of juice. Last year, Marshawn Lloyd, another guy to watch the highlights for, broke a lot of big plays. 37% avoided tackle rate overall, and only had 12 opportunities per game, so it wasn't a lot. 85% avoided tackle rate in the pass game while getting 11 routes per game. So Marshawn Lloyd, pretty tasty, pretty elusive guy. The issue, though, is that he's clocked in terms of the measurements at 5'9", 210. So that means at the combine, he could run the risk of being 5'8", 190, which would make him tough to trust at running back. But if he is 5'9", 210, Marshawn Lloyd, I think, is a better prospect than a lot of guys who you will hear about, like Will Shipley, who's just a white guy who kind of looks like Christian McCaffrey in terms of the physical look. He's of course, the thing that I was correct about last year. Jonathan Mingo looks like A.J. Brown. If you look at Jonathan Mingo, you're like, wow, this guy's chiseled. He must be a great wide receiver because he looks like A.J. Brown. He's not. Will Shipley looks like Christian McCaffrey because he's white and in good shape, and he catches some passes and gets a lot of red zone work. He's also not good. So I'd rather take a shot at Marshawn Lloyd than Will Shipley is the main point of that. Zeke was a bell cow. If we're going to talk about guys at ADP, I think this past year would have rather had Zeke at his ADP than Ramondre at his. So, that's what it is. Tomorrow, though, we do the stream. I will be a little more mindful of really looking at every ADP because this just flew by here with all these guys getting picked. And also, frankly, having Ben here take 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. He did limit himself at 9 QBs, but having a guy take 9 QBs in a room also does throw off ADPs a little bit too. So hopefully we'll get a more pristine draft here tomorrow on stream at 11 a.m. on Splash Play. Got one more round to go, a clean hour draft. That works out well. And if you missed it earlier, guys, please do smash that like button here. Of course, Splash Play on that march now to 4K subs, 5K subs, 10K subs, 1,000,000K subs, and I can't do it without you. So please do smash that like button here and help me grow the channel as I continue to step up to bat here every day and draft some sick teams. Sick either literally, like in terms of like they're coughing, they're wheezing, they're dying, their lungs are withered, what? Withered up and unable to breathe. That kind of sick, or like sick like gnarly. We're building one of those two every day here on stream. Draft number 1. I got to figure out how I'm going to do the thumbnail so you guys know which one is like, which one's draft 1, which one's draft 2, that's what we're going to do here. Steal one from Pete, but not really, because this is going to be my every draft will be clocked here on stream. I guess not every draft. Still going to do a few off stream. Probably a lot off stream. Hit that like button, you mooks. We got some emojis here. Oh, man. Oh, just get the stretches in. We're back. We're back in best ball world, guys. Hope you enjoyed your time off from drafting teams, because we're now back drafting teams. And frankly, I'd rather be doing this than playoff best ball. I think this is a lot more fun than playoff best ball. Shout out to all you guys that are advancing to the finals. I've heard from a lot of you guys that are getting some teams in to finals. But there's going to be a lot of similar teams for a lot of you guys out there. But that did not work out for me because my stands were ass. Chase Brown's a mirror. Chuba feels like Chase. I mean, Mixon is not likely to be back. I would take the upside for Chase Brown, but they're probably going to bring in another running back if Mixon does go. I would say Chase Brown's probably the most interesting. He showed a little bit. He did look like the bootleg Austin Eckler we kind of hoped he would be. Dawson Knox going for free here. But we don't care. We're a Ben Sinnott household. Final team. Dak Prescott, Drake May, Najee Harris, Jalen Warren, Devin Singletary, Roshan Johnson, Audric Estime, Kenneth Gainwell, Marshawn Lloyd. I do not want to leave draft rooms there. If I'm doing 0 RB, I want 7 running backs. That is one of my pledges for the year. CeeDee Lamb, DK Metcalf, Devontae Adams, which that's a start we could have gotten last year, actually, now looking at it. Malik Neighbors, JSN, Elijah Moore, Michael Wilson. Malik Neighbors, of course, one of the rookies I would certainly be comfortable taking at his ADP. Jake Ferguson, Noah Fant, Jaheim Bell, Ben Sinnott. Those are our tight ends. The rookie tight end whisperer is back here. Guys, appreciate all you guys being here with me. Shouts to the Squirt Squad. All these fine folks, including Gabe Davis, have helped me put on the show today. So hit that join button down below and you can help me put on the show. Again, the rest of 2024. Lots more member stuff coming up here, including my own. I think we're going to do the rankings. It's going to be the Spags rankings are going to be back, I believe, as part of the premium product here on Splash Play. So hit that join button down below. A lot more to come here and help support the show. Again, subscribe. Check out Probably, Underdog, Stochastic. Any of these things here help you support the show. So check those out. Follow me at Chris Spags. Follow the show at Splash Play Pod. Back tomorrow at 11 a.m. Another big board all week. Big boards here at 11 a.m. So come join me for those. I will see you guys then. Enjoy your days and get into a big board. Of course, good luck. Bye.